Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. We have a brand new show tonight, and I hope you're going to enjoy it. It's called DADS Going Solo. But before we start, I'd like to introduce myself. I am Cece Shatz. I'm the Doyenne of Relationship Building. And, the thing is that what we want to do is we really want to connect you with individuals that are really going to bring you through that transition into living your best life. And that's what Going Solo Network is all about. So let's do our homework. Above me, you'll see our website, goingsolomedia.com, that has all of our media information, all of our videos, all of our wonderful hosts, our wonderful guests, all of those that are on there. You'll find all that information. If you'd like to email me, I would love to hear from you. My email is goingsolonetwork@gmail.com. And I hope that you will email me because we love to hear all that you have to say. But let's get busy with this new show because this is something that has been very passionate to me. Dad's going solo. There's not many people out there that really help the guys going through some of the difficult times. And we have a wonderful guest here tonight, and she does that each and every day. So let's bring her forward. She's one of our elites. Her name is Martha David Anderson. Welcome, Martha.
Hi, how are you?
It is great having you. So Martha, you are a JD, a mediator, a CFLC, and you really specialize in adult children of divorce.
I do.
And so tell us a little bit about your journey, why you decided to get into doing what you're doing now.
Yeah, thank you, Cece. So when I was 7, in 1968, my parents got divorced. And I found out about the divorce by coming home late in the afternoon, and my dad and his mom were there, my grandma, to tell me that my mom and 2 of my 3 brothers had moved out that day. Didn't know they were going, didn't know what was happening. And I found out that's how I found out that my parents were getting divorced. So that kind of shook, that totally shattered my foundation. And that kind of set me on the trajectory to how can parents be better at doing this? How can they really do it in a way that is child-centered and take care of their own needs at the same time? So my parents were horrible in their divorce, Cece. They hated each other. They talked about hating each other. To me, I knew way more details about the marriage than I should. And I know way more details about the divorce than I ever needed to know. Here's a tip for the dads listening. It is really important to know that when you're talking to your children, that you don't disparage or talk negatively in any manner about their mom. And here's why. Because we are each, when you're a kid, you believe you're 50% your mom and you're 50% your dad. You have that bond with both parents. And when you hear that one parent is bad or that a parent doesn't like the other parent, what your kids hear is there's part of them you don't like, or there's part of them they need to start hiding, which is what happened to me. I became a chameleon, and I became a master chameleon. I changed. If I was with my mom, I was a different person. If I was with my dad, I was a different person. I changed and became a people pleaser for most of my 50 years, and I'll be 60 this year. So it's been the last 10 years that I've really resolved that. So remember, make sure that your child knows that it is okay to love both parents, that you expect them to have this a fabulous relationship with both parents. You want them to love their mom, and you love the part of them that reminds you of the mom, and that it's okay for them to embrace their whole self. When a child is spending so much time making sure one of their parents or the other is safe and secure and is that support system, they are not spending that time figuring out who they are in themselves, right? It took me 50 years to stop being a chameleon, to figure out who I am, who I want to be, and where I want to go, how I want to show up in this world. 50 years.
Yeah, that, when you say that, it really makes me understand that so much. Oh, here, we got a comment. Yay. Hey, Sophie. Thank you so much, Sophia, for listening to us here tonight. We appreciate it. And commenting. We really do love that. Thank you so much. But, as I was going to say, is that it makes me realize that, I'm hoping that we're changing the way we, look at divorce and the way we handle divorce and the way we communicate with our children. I have to admit that when I got divorced, I wasn't very good at it. I was going through the emotional roller coaster ride. I'm sure like many, many people. And so we don't always do the right things. And so I'm hoping that these shows that we bring forward and the things that we do, for instance, I know you, Martha, you have, workbooks and you have all various different content that individuals can use and do. But I hope that we can actually change the face of divorce, that it's not so devastating, that it takes years and years for someone to get over, and it also blends into our family, and it takes years and years for them to heal from the pain of it.
Oh yeah, and more than that, right? So we knew our parents hated each other. So my parents had 4 kids. I also have a brother from my dad's next marriage. And I will tell you, the 4 of us didn't go through our high school graduations because we didn't want our parents there. We didn't want our parents together. So we skipped high school graduation. We all skipped college graduation. The only graduation I went to was my law school graduation. And I wish I hadn't, because the celebratory dinner that was all about me ended up somehow, my mom made a snarky comment about my dad, and my dad was my person in the world. So I defended my dad, and then my brother defended my mom. And so my brother and I suddenly were in this discussion. I'm like, what are we doing? Mm-hmm. This is stupid. Stupid. They got divorced in 68. That was 88. That was 20 years later. Mm-hmm. So really just telling your kids that they don't have to take sides.
Yeah.
That this is a mom and dad issue. It doesn't mean we don't love you. We love you with all of our heart. This is none of your business. Empowering your kids to say, I don't want to hear this, right? If someone starts saying something, right? I don't want to hear it. This isn't my business. I'm not going to do this with you.
Well, here, Martha, what it takes a change from within us as individuals going through divorce. We have to be aware that what we're doing is really going to affect our kids, and it's going to affect their futures. And if we want to, especially if we have younger children and we're divorcing, we have to understand that we're going to have all these birthdays and all of these things. And I have been, my ex, I have been very grateful that we have participated as a family unit. Because I said to him repeatedly over and over again, you weren't the best husband in the world. And maybe I wasn't the best wife, but we are great parents. And so let's be good parents. And so, and it was hard. I mean, there were times when I participated in things that was uncomfortable for me. And I'm sure probably uncomfortable for him and his girlfriend. And so, but we just set it up and we did it. And I really think that it's made a huge difference. So let's talk about some of those things that dads can approach a divorce. So if they find themselves approaching a divorce, mm-hmm. and your advice was very spot on, is that don't share the stuff with the kids, right?
Absolutely. Not only that, you need a venting partner, right? And I get stuff happens in divorce. I was a family law attorney for decades. I get that stuff happens that triggers you and makes you furious. Absolutely. Venting is moving that energy through you, telling somebody so they can witness it so that you can get rid of it, right? Complaining is keeping that energy and continuing to recycle that energy and continuing to talk about it. So that's a huge difference. The intention is to use that energy and get rid of it, right? When you're annoyed. Don't talk to someone in the family. Don't talk to parents of your kids' friends. And don't talk to your kids, right? Talk to someone outside their realm. Someone who doesn't see them, someone who doesn't really, an old college friend, a divorce coach, whatever, a therapist, a support group. And I'll tell you why. When you talk to them, it makes them pick sides, and they have the feeling that they have to take care of somebody. When you talk to a relative, when you're in a family gathering, that relative could very well have nonverbal communication or be talking about something that you don't want shared with your children, right? So my grandmother used to share things in my ears all the time. And it was really harmful. That's actually, for the dads out there, I was 7 and I stayed with my dad. That was the agreement. 2 of the boys went with my mom, and my older brother and I stayed with my dad. And the only reason I left my dad ever, because he was my favorite person in the entire universe, was because my grandmother kept saying my mom was so bad, and I had to go see how I was like her and know what I needed to do to fix myself. And that's really those internal messages, right? Mm-hmm. So, and the reason you don't want to talk to the father of one of the friends or the mother of one of the kids' friends is because they may be sharing with their spouse or with somebody else in the earshot of kids, and their kids find out, and then your kid finds out. You really want to make sure that your children are protected from the ugliness of the divorce as best you can. Part of that is your mindset, and you hit right on it, Cece. That awareness is the first thing. How am I going to protect my kids? What awareness do I need, right? What am I doing? What am I thinking? The other part is communication, right? What you say and how you say something really matters. Both to your soon-to-be ex or your ex or whatever it is. And intentional communication means starting those hard conversations without the emotion, right? Mm-hmm. To be in a place, to be grounded and without all those emotions battling you, because what you say when you're emotional, angry, upset, hurt, betrayed, whatever it is, right? Can't be heard.
Right. A lot of times men, when they, we got another comment. Let me see. Here we got, here. What is she saying? Sophia's saying, yes, one of my parents played the victim, and I feel guilty that I left out the other because I felt that I had to choose sides. Then venting to a friend would have been appropriate. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Sophia. Very important.
Hey, Jenny. So we've got Jenny here listening too. Thank you so much for commenting. It just means a world to us that you do this. I was going to say too, is I think integrity, as we move through divorce, both men and women, we have to really be, have our integrity in place. And so we want to, step into this new world of being single with, our heads held high. And to do that, we have to, as we're moving through divorce, we have to have integrity. We have to be the person that we want to be, and not someone that is, is saying negative things or being lost in their story, that kind of thing. I mean, we're all victims when it comes to divorce. There's no winners in it. And so we just need to be able to, step up and be the person that we truly are meant to be. And I love what you say about talking to other people. I really think that a group, someone that, really kind of gets what you're going through, is a great place to vent. A coach is a wonderful someone that can definitely be in your corner and can listen to you and sort out those feelings that you're feeling and put together a plan that you can be able to move forward in a very positive direction. And your clergy. And also, I think if we have children, if we go to the counselor or go to whoever is handling the school, in their classes and say, listen, our family's going through a divorce. We're going to have some tough times here. And so I just want to give you a heads up on it. And I'd like to know if there's any problems, any situations that's happening with the children.
Yeah. And that's the other place that dads or new solos can really make a difference, right? It's to not make it difficult on the school or extracurricular activities, right? Mm-hmm. Share the information, right? Both of you should be able to get it. It should be really seamless, and there should be no uncomfortableness for the child to go to school and have, oh, I can't give that to your dad, or your dad's here and your mom's going to be mad by the teachers, right? Don't involve any of your child's world in the day-to-day stuff of it. Saying we're going through something, please keep your head on him, right? Keep your eyes on him or her and let us know if there's something is perfect. But just making sure that conflict doesn't go everywhere, right? The other thing is really communication. How you communicate. That's what I was talking about, right? And it's tone, it's body language. So when you're saying, oh, you need to go see your mom now, how you say it means it is important. Tone of voice, body language, right? Hey, great, you get to go see your mom now. She's almost here to pick you up. Or, hey, I'm going to take you home to mom now, or whatever it is, right? Or I'm taking you here and mom's going to pick you up. Just as though it's perfectly normal and it's okay, right? That there's no icky feelings. There's no eye rolling. So one of the things that my parents did, and we're going to go to a break soon, but one of the things that my parents did, I was invited to my senior prom and I was really excited because I didn't think I would be. And so I went to my mom and said, I need a prom dress. I'm going to go to prom. I was really excited and talking about it. And her answer was, I don't get enough child support to buy you a prom dress. You have to go to your dad. So I called my dad, and my dad's response, probably because I said, Mom says you don't pay enough child support. My dad's response is, I pay a ton of child support. She needs to pay for it. Well, where did that leave me? No prom dress.
Did you eventually get a dress, or?
I did, but that's because I called my brother. He was in college at the time, so eating whatever the 70s equivalent of top ramen is now. So on a very tight budget, and I called him just complaining, and he said, I will pay for your prom dress, which is not what I called him for, but I will pay for your prom dress, but neither parent gets a picture of it. I'm the only one who gets a picture other than you. I was like, deal. Done.
Yeah, now see, isn't that, and I'm so glad that you're sharing these stories with us, because sometimes people just don't get what the long-term effect that has on the kids. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect when I was going through my divorce. And I look back now, as I'm doing all of this with helping others going through divorce. And I think to myself, I sure wish I had someone to talk to, and I had someone to help guide me and try to be a better person, but to think that, my gosh, the kids, have to, suffer like that. It's really a shame. It truly is a shame. And neither of them, I think, realized the damage they were doing,
Right. Well, and it's all avoidable. Awareness and just being mindful of what you're saying and what impact it's going to have. Right.
Yeah.
100%. That's all it is.
Well, we'll talk a little bit more about that, because I agree with you. I think always communication in any kind of relationship is a key, right? And it's a key on how we do it. So when we get back, let's talk a little bit about handling our emotions so we can better communicate. Because
Absolutely.
a lot of times when we're at odds. And when we say things that are really bad, it's because we're emotional, right? And
Yes.
so we've got to somehow get our emotions intact. And so we're talking about Dads Going Solo tonight. This is the new show. And we have our wonderful elite guest here with us, Martha Davis Alexander. She's an attorney, a mediator, a CFLC, and she specializes in adult children of divorce. And she's a coach, and I really want to kind of share with those out there listening what exactly that is. It's like when you have a young child and you're listening tonight going through divorce, how it's made a huge difference, how the parents handled things. And then children become adults, they still are dealing with stuff. And something I noticed too, even about, my divorce, is that my adult children, how they were affected about it, even though they were adults. And so you specialize in helping parents deal with children so they don't have that aftermath. And then you also help adult children being able to sort out some of these things. So it's really wonderful what you do. It's very highly specialized. And so I just want everyone to understand that. Also, I want to make sure that we get out your information to be able to contact you. And it's Martha Alexander, and that's Martha. Let's see, DALEXANDER @gmail.com. And then she's got a very unique website. It's called throughtheLookingGlassWithMartha.com. So remember that, throughtheLookingGlassWithMartha.com. And that's how you can find out all of her information right there on our website. So everyone, please, check it out. And I know you got a lot of information there on your website that can help people. So Martha, we're going to come right back. So let's take a quick break. So everyone just hang on tight and we'll be right back. Welcome back. You're listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, and we are so pleased to have you here on this brand new show. It's Dads Going Solo, and we have a wonderful guest here with us tonight. We have elite guest Martha Davis Alexander, and I just want to share with you, an elite guest is someone that's quite special in our organization here on Going Solo Network. That individual, the elite guest, is like Martha, is actually supportive of us. And so they help us out doing various different things because they come on the show. They're one of our coaches on our websites. They really come from the back end, help us. And so we do appreciate that. So we want to highlight the fact that she is an elite. She will have her own, of course, her own page on our website. So all of her links and everything will be right there. Very easy for you to be able to get. So after the show, if you didn't catch her contact information, which is marthaAlexander@gmail.com, and then her website, Through the Looking Glass with Martha, it'll be there right on our site, so you can easily get it. And we want to thank Martha for helping us out on our Going Solo network. So we appreciate that. But tonight we're talking about a very important subject. We're talking about dads going solo, how dads can approach a divorce split. And the reason we're focusing on men is because, you know, men really truly are kind of like the backbone of a family, even though women do a great deal. So we don't want to say that they don't, but generally speaking, you know, children look up towards their dads a great deal. And so if dads can be strong and they can handle the divorce in a very mature way, which, you know, communication is strong, if they can keep the family unit intact, and make the family strong even through a split, it certainly will benefit the children, as Martha definitely shared with us her story at the beginning of the show. So thank you for that, Martha. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for letting me share.
Definitely. Well, you know, it's made a huge difference in your life, and, you know, some of the difficulties that you've experienced, even though it was painful, difficult to get through, it's really shaped your life today, and you're helping, you know, thousands of people being able to move forward in their lives in a very positive direction. So, you know, even with difficulties that we experience in our lives, they can be learning experiences for us, and something
Absolutely.
that definitely changes. So let's talk a little bit about communication and handling our emotions through communication, both men and women, because this is a real struggle when we're going through divorce. So any suggestions there?
Yeah, so here's an interesting thing to back up just 1 second, Cece,
Sure.
and that's, if you think about 50% of the population was getting divorced in the 70s and 80s, right? And it's increased. There are so many now adult children of divorce, right? Who are also getting divorced. You're 50% more likely to get divorced if your parents did. So communication really is the backbone of all of it. I did not learn how to communicate because my parents didn't teach me how to communicate, right? They didn't communicate. They got divorced. My stepmom and my dad didn't communicate. My stepmom would say, we're having an argument, we're getting divorced. So I really believed the first 10 years of our marriage, anytime we were arguing, we were getting divorced. And because I was a family lawyer, man, I split our stuff and did all the divisions and stuff. So how you process emotions and how you communicate, right? The first step is to vent. What are you feeling? Vent. What about the situation, right? Isolate. What's your topic, right? So I'll give you a simple one, and I know this is way simple, right? The dishes being left undone for someone to come home from work, and then cooking, right, in a dirty kitchen. One of my husband's issues, he hates it, and he does most of the cooking. So, and I stay home and work from home. So really, that's frustration. That's feeling like he's doing everything, right? And what he could do is become aware of it, isolate it, know that that's a topic he wants to talk about, and vent. Not to me, because I'm not the person to vent to if it's about me or my children, right? Can't vent to us. You got to go outside and you got to vent to somebody. Even if you write it down, right? If you don't have someone to vent to, grab a journal, grab a piece of paper, and just start writing everything about it that you can write about. Write everything. Then you can burn it and let it go, right?
That's a great advice.
Take each point, right? Take something about it in the venting. Identify the emotion, right? So an emotion isn't good or bad. Being mad isn't a bad thing. It's just an emotion. It's just a feeling, right? So, and we're not taught how to process feelings. It makes me nuts, right? We're not given a manual at birth, but that's okay. Identify that feeling. What is it? What am I feeling? And people used to say, where do you feel it in your body? I used to think that was so stupid. But if you really sit for a minute and feel that feeling and notice and become aware of your body, where is that feeling? What does that feel like? So next time you feel that feeling in your body, you know, I might be angry. I might be sad. I might be overwhelmed. I might be disappointed. What am I? Or what is that? Give yourself a minute to feel it. And then decide, in this situation, how do I want to show up? What is the most important thing to me, right? How do I want to be? Who do I want to be in this situation? And then
another thing when I was thinking about when you were talking about it is also think about why you're really upset about it. Because a lot of times we're upset about something and we're not really upset about the actual thing we say we're upset about. We're upset about something else. So we might, like the guy might get, upset when he comes home. Let's say his kids are over and the house is a mess, right? And he comes in the door, right? And then he's upset because all of that's a mess that he has to deal with. But really what he's upset about is that he had a really horrible day at work and now he's come home and,
all he wanted was to sit down, grab a beer, a glass of wine, martini, whatever it is, and just relax. Just take a breath off. And it is impossible to do that if you have a house full of kids.
Right.
Absolutely true. Mm-hmm. So that would be disappointment, frustration. There's a lot of emotions in there. And hopefully when you vented, you've identified, all I wanted was to do this, and this is what I had, right? And then you can see in that venting when you're journaling, you can see in there, that's what I'm upset about. And then the question is, how are you going to resolve it? What do you need to do, right? What do you need? Some of that is setting boundaries, right? What are your boundaries? What things do you need? And can you express those? Right? So I have a whole workbook on how to resolve a difficult discussion that takes through each of these steps, right? What are your expectations? Expectations are something you think should happen. Not everyone thinks the same thing. So tends to be, if you have an expectation, you're going to be disappointed. Or if you're disappointed or frustrated, it could very well lead to, what was I expecting to happen? What was my expectation? And was that realistic? Right?
That is so important, Martha, because often we put this vision in our heads, that we think things are going to be a certain way. Yeah. And then when they're not, we're so disappointed, upset, angry, or whatever. We become emotional, both men and women, why this didn't happen like this. And it truly is something that we envisioned in our head. We planned or whatever in our head. Men tend to plan things. They tend to be planners and things like that. So, there's certain traits, with regards to men, but our expectations are definitely there, is one of those disappointing factors. That
how you deal with an expectation. Mm-hmm. It is to turn it into something else, right? To have a conversation. Hey, this is what I need. What do you need? Right? This situation kind of threw me off. So nonviolent communication is, I felt this. I felt X when X happened. Right? There's no you in this. There's just, I felt X when this happened. I really need this. Would you be willing to help me by doing X, Y, and Z? Right? That's a really non-threatening way to start a communication, right? Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's so non-threatening. I really feel like a lot of individuals have struggles as they're going through divorce with regards to that letting go of expectations of what they thought their relationship was going to be. It's totally different. And now here their lifestyle is taking a switch. It's taken a definitely a 360. And they're going, oh my gosh, how do I deal with all of this? And so those are the kind of things that you want to think about with regards to, moving forward in a divorce split. You want to think about, is this a realistic expectation, or isn't it? And I love your journaling. because it's so true. If you write it down, you can release it. And also you get a little bit clearer in your thinking, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Writing it down really moves that energy and gets it out, and then burning it completely releases it.
Yeah.
Energetically.
Great advice.
It's a wonderful tool to process those emotions and to figure out what you really want, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Now, also with regards to a divorce, when we're talking about, how dads can prepare, there are various different elements of organization that they can take on. Is there any suggestions you can give for that?
I'm sorry, I'm not clear on what
Like,
organization.
like anything that they would need um, to be able to organize. Like, for instance, I know that we have a wonderful host here on the show, and he does the splitsmart.com, which is organization of, the documentation as they're preparing to go forward in divorce. But especially guys, they tend to be, orientated a lot with regards to organization. What planning, how can I do this? What can I do here? That kind of
Yeah.
thing.
So I truly believe planning and organizing the conversations you want to have, right? Not only with the kids, but with their mom, right? Having that, organizing your own mindset. It really comes from within, right? That's really the best thing. The communication is the biggest, organizing that. And communication is a skill. It is an organization. It takes effort and it takes thought, right? You can't just say something. Well, you can, but where has it gotten you so far, right? So it really takes working through it and thinking about it and deciding what you want to do.
Yeah.
In terms of organizing other things, the things that came to mind are, if you have a daughter, making sure she has her own bedroom, right? She has her space and it's sacred in your house, so somebody else isn't going to do it. When you're organizing a meeting of a new girlfriend, right? It should be, it is better to have it be kind of a brief early meet or a brief meet at that time, and don't sideswipe the mother on it, right? Make sure that she knows so that you guys can prepare together, right? That mom's good, dad is seeing someone, and that's a good thing, right? So that it's positive from all sides. And I know some of you out there may be saying, yeah, that is not going to happen. I've had those clients too, and I understand it, right? I do get that sometimes that just isn't going to happen. But trying to make it as less intimidating to the kids, right?
Right.
And
well, I think too, if we keep the family unit intact, for instance, if the guys have the evening, with the kids, or the weekend with the kids, keeping that family unit intact while you're having your children, doing some of those things that you normally would do, right?
Absolutely.
I used to call it Operation Cleanup. So we clean up the house, and we can clean it up in, 10 minutes or whatever. And, you do those kind of things, but you set those. It's important for children that they have a same routine, and that once they're going through divorce, that routine is kind of broken up, because now we're switching routines, right? We're doing different things. We're going to dad's house. We're going to mom's house. We're doing all these kind of things. Try to get together a little organization with regards to rules that we're going to do. Rules at my house, rules at your house. Well, can we have some sort of the same kind of rules so that, the kids have the same kind of standards,
I had completely different rules between the two houses. My dad had stricter rules, and my mom had no rules. So it was a completely different environment. And it was hard to keep track of sometimes, right? What can I do?
Yeah.
Who am I with? Right? So
Mhm.
that is a great idea.
Mhm.
Encouraging contact with the other parent, even when they're with you, right?
Mhm.
Or even continuing to have pictures up, right, of the family unit,
Mhm.
right? Because it's the family, right? That's who's going to be there for their wedding, for their birthdays, for graduations, right? And making sure that you show up for your time with the kids, right? And being on time and doing whatever you can to make that time family time.
Right. Keeping that security.
Yeah.
And giving the kids that sense of security.
And
that
when
makes
it's
all the difference.
And when it's not your time to have them, right? If you don't have them during the week, and I'm sad to say that sometimes that's true for dads. I'm a firm believer in a little bit more shared. And I'm not the judge, so, and nor am I in that profession anymore. But making sure that you're still calling, right? And saying goodnight, or having some of those things in your mind that you're still going to text and say, good night, I love you, right? I'm thinking about you, or whatever, so that it's not just a weekend thing, right? It's not
Right.
just whenever that time is. It's you're thinking about them and they can know you're thinking about them, right?
Mhm.
Send cards if you want to, right? Whatever. It's holding that connection and keeping that connection.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. And I think moms, it's our duty to make sure our kids feel that their dads still love them and allow that to happen, allow those phone calls to come in and allow those various different things to happen, because that truly is what's important. And our kids are looking at us, they're looking at us and they're watching what we're going to do. And so we want that to be an easy, smooth transition for our children. So, I really do think that's important.
And let me just put an exclamation point on what you just said, Cece.
Mhm.
They're watching us, they're learning from us,
Mhm.
and what they're learning now is what your grandkids are going to experience.
Right.
Let that sink in for a minute. What you're teaching them is what your grandkids are going to experience.
Mhm. Yeah, very well said.
It is a generational learning.
Mhm.
And you gotta break it somewhere, right? If you can do it right this time, it's not as generational, right? You can have everybody for Christmas, as
Yeah.
opposed to, oh, am I going to mom's? Am I going to dad's? It becomes a nightmare.
Yeah.
All of my siblings hate Christmas, right? We hate things. I mean, we don't like the holiday because it was always an issue.
Mhm.
Don't do that.
Well, and what we're finding is that there are more and more people that are getting divorced, and so then you have all of these, then they get remarried, and then you have all of these other families, and so then you have all these other places that you have to go during the holidays, and
Right.
it becomes crazy. And I know my older children, they because my ex has been remarried, and then they have to go over this place and that place and everything. And so, be adaptable, don't be so, I mean, sure, it might hurt your feelings a little bit, but just be adaptable, because it just makes things go so much easier if you're not fighting all the time about every little thing. Pick your battles of what you want to
Here
fight
is
about.
a huge clue in. Everybody ready? Sitting on the edge of your seats? Christmas is a day. It can be the 25th of December. It can be the 12th of December. It can be whatever day you want to celebrate it. It doesn't have to be on that day. A birthday can be celebrated any day, right? As long as it's a celebration. You don't have to be married to a day, right? You can have the same celebration, right?
Yeah.
And I get there can be some religious reasons, Hanukkah or Christmas or whatever. And talk to your religious leader about that. I firmly believe you can celebrate anytime.
Yeah, it's true. Well, I know that my grandson was born, Christmas Eve, and so so we always do it in the middle of the year, so he gets two celebrations. So,
Nice.
yeah, that's pretty. That's okay. What's his?
Nice.
He says, "Hello, yes, it can be. Yes."
So
it
what?
can be. I'm not sure exactly what we were saying, but thank you for your support. We so love the comments, so thank you for
Always.
commenting. We
Always.
appreciate that. Oh, there we go. And she goes, "Thank you so much for sharing, Martha. Such great information."
Oh, thank you, Jenny.
That's very sweet. Well, gosh, we're going to have to close out the show. It went by very, very quickly. We covered a lot here. And my real key takeaway is communication, is really keeping the lines of communication open. How about you? Are there any last words that you'd like to say? Anything you'd like to share with our audience?
So I love just being aware, right? Awareness of what you're doing and how it's impacting and how you want to show up in the world.
Yeah, that is so true. It's absolutely right. Well, everyone, you can reach Martha at marthaalexander@gmail.com, and then also her wonderful website, which is throughthelookinglasswithmartha.com. And then I also want to share something with you that's brand new. Martha's going to be joining us as one of the hosts here on our Going Solo network, and we're so excited about that. We're hoping that her show will be launching in August. So, I hope you guys will stick around for that and really support her and make comments and help her be able to get through some of her shows, because some of the beginnings are always a little bit, you always feel a little apprehensive at the very beginning. But Martha, you're a real pro at this, so thank you so much for all that you do.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah,
so I'm on a mission to bring awareness to the world.
That's great. So again, it's marthaalexander@gmail.com, and then Through the Looking Glass with Martha is her website. So please reach out to her, comment, and let her know that you listened to her on the show here. We'd appreciate that. Also, let's be a little kinder to our dads as they're going solo, because, sometimes it is very difficult, and we don't always, women, we don't always see the other side of it. And we're going to try to bring a little bit of awareness of that out. So, okay, let's see. We got here. Thank you. Great info. Thank you, Sophia. We appreciate that.
Thanks,
we really do so much. So you guys, you're listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. We are a talk network. We have the radio. We have live streaming radio on our website, goingsolomedia.com, 24/7. All our shows are right there. All our shows are listed underneath all the hosts and the guests that we have. We are a TV and then podcast. We are really the number one internet singles talk network. And this is our Going Bold Wednesday. And so we are excited about that. So we love you. Thank you so much for listening. I am Cece Shatz, a Doyenne of Relationship Building. We had beautiful Martha Davis Alexander here. She's an attorney, a mediator, a CFLC. She specializes in adult children of divorce. She's a coach. She really has helped thousands get through some of the most difficult times in your life. So reach out to her. Again, her website is throughthelookinglasswithmartha.com. So thank you, Martha.
Thank you, Cece.
Okay, appreciate it. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.